All right, let's look at the Geometry Essential Skills test. So students have already taken 4 chapter tests, Chapter 5, Chapter 7, Chapter 8, and then the last chapters 9, 10, 11 together. So when students took these tests, they earned scores out of 50. These are all in Canvas. And as part of those 50 points, they had essential skills. So for example, on Chapter 5, this student had 15 of the 50 points on trig. Trig is an essential skill. So if you look in their Canvas gradebook, you can see their chapter test scores under summative, and you can see their essential skills score under essential skills. Now this 15 points is included in the 48 they earned, but we also track it separately so students can see what essential skills they need to focus on most. Some tests like Chapter 7 and Chapter 8 have 2 essential skills, while some have just 1. So this student earned these scores on these 4 tests out of 50, which would make their summative test grade a B-. They earned 165 out of 200, which leaves them at 82.5%. Now they still have 5% of their grade counting as homework and 15% counting as quizzes, team quizzes, things like that. So as they go to study for their essential skills test, they will get this form and they will keep track of how they did. So for instance, this student got 6 out of 7. That's an 85% on circles. They have 95% on trig, whereas they have 40% on similar figures and 45% on logical arguments. It is 45.5% because they got 5 out of 11 possible points. So this student would want to spend most of their time reviewing these 2 skills and less time reviewing these 2 skills, though they will be tested on all 4. So when students take their essential skills, they get the grade twice. What we mean by that is that if they do better than they did on the chapter test, they earn growth points back. Growth points only help their grade. They also get the sum of how they do on the final as a normal test. So everyone gets the grade as a normal test in the summative category, and students who showed growth also get some points back in that growth category. So what this looks like is the student that we've been looking at already earned these points in green on their chapter tests. On the final, they earned these points in purple. So notice they got the same score in circles. They actually went down a point in trig, but they got 2 points higher in similar figures and 2 points higher in logical arguments. So those 2 points that they got higher are going to go in the growth score. They essentially got 4 points of extra credit. They earned that by showing they improved in their understanding of that skill. They also earned 39 out of 47 points on the final. That 39 points comes from adding up these 4 categories. They had already earned 165 out of 200 points. With that, 39 out of 47 points on the final and the 4 points of growth, that brings that student's overall summative grade to 209 out of 247, which brings them up to a B. So all students take the final. All students earn their final test score in the grade book. That affects their grade like a normal test would. If they do better than their average, their grade goes up. If they do worse than their average, their grade goes down. Students also have the potential to earn some growth points back, just as this student did in these 2 categories. Growth points only help their grade because, again, they're showing improvement on a concept. If your student wants to see what could happen in their gradebook, they have to go through My Apps to Canvas as a web page. If they click on the gradebook, they can scroll down and they can click on their grades and type it in, and Canvas will change their overall grade to what would happen if that happened. Now, this is not changing their gradebook for like the teachers. It's just letting students see if you get this score on a test, what happens.